everyone, and welcome to Business Intelligence Techniques and Tools. The objectives of this video, now that we talked about data and how to get data all taken ready for us for analysis, is we're going to dive into business intelligence. Now we're actually going to start utilizing this data for analysis. We'll talk a little bit more on what that means here in a few slides. We'll also talk about the techniques that's used, and we'll also talk about some of the tools that are used in business intelligence. Okay, let's get started. Using our illustration here, basically what we're talking about is that we're going to get into the what part of it, the techniques. We kind of done that already with data collections from the traditional point of view and the big data point of view. Now we're going to deal with the business intelligence piece of this. Okay, and later on we'll get into the tools used for business intelligence, as you already see, and we'll talk about a little bit more. Some of them are very similar, and there's a few new ones here that we'll talk about a little bit as we get into it. All right, let's talk about what a business intelligence is. We kind of talked about that before in previous videos, but it's good for a little review. It's interchangeably with data science at times. It is business intelligence, data science. It's part of data science based upon how we define it for this particular course. So for our purpose, business intelligence is the reporting and representation of past results of a business. So looking at the past results, okay, not the predictive stuff that comes a little bit later on through traditional methods through statistics and then of course machine learning. All right, so this is more of looking at what has been done already and analyzing that. All right, so basically where business intelligence starts is the fact that we have our data ready. We spend all that time doing all those tools, getting our traditional and our big data ready for analysis, all cleaned up, all in a good sampling type format, ready for us to actually start analyzing that data. And that's what a business intelligence person does. All right. So an analyst is one of the key people as a business intelligence. This might be something that might be interesting to all of you or some of you, I should say, as a career. But she'll take her data skills and understanding data. She'll take her business knowledge and business intuition. All right. She'll answer questions such as, what happened? Why did it happen? How many units did we sell? What region performed the best for the company last month? She'll also basically do more sophisticated things with some of this data, which I think really is kind of cool. She might ask the question, answer the question, I should say, how did our email marketing perform in relation to click-through rates and revenue generated? That's pretty cool if you kind of think about it, and how that compared to last year at this time. So a business intelligence analyst can really get deep into understanding is our branding and is our marketing actually working, and is it worth our investment for it? Remembering, every time they put a commercial out there, a company doesn't just do that to spend money, they do that to get some type of investment back. And so business intelligence, the analyst will basically look at the data to determine if it actually worked or not, and so they can make decisions about how it moves forward. Just one example, okay? So the job of a business analyst is important, and she has to understand the essence of business and be able to strengthen that business through the power of data. Many of you who've gone through the curriculum, you've heard different instructors basically say that, most of the things we're doing in Cincinnati State's curriculum evolve around leveraging technology to make a business better, okay? Some of that could be application development that supports the processes, which makes the cost of doing something a lot lower. A lot of it's application development to actually promote new products and make it, and so on. And a lot of it is application development to push data out faster, so people can make better decisions, be it their customers or management. BI gets into leveraging all the data that has been accumulated through all these applications and social media and so on, and leveraging that to make the business better. So everything we do when it comes to this type of technology, information technology, is in the fact that we're trying to leverage all technology to make businesses better and more profitable. Why that? More jobs, higher stock prices, and so on, which in the end benefits everybody, a better economy overall. Technology is the catalyst for the economy we have today, and the economy we'll probably have way into the future in being able to do things that benefits everybody. So I bring that up quite a bit because I want people to understand that's one of the essence of programming here, this side of it anyway. Yes, there is the computer science side, there's the gaming side, and so on, but for the most part, this is what we're focusing on, leveraging technology to make businesses better. And you probably have heard that it's not a bad idea to learn a little bit about business. One of our degrees actually allows you to do that. So, in this case, understanding the essence of business and be able to strengthen that business through the power of data. To do that pretty effectively as a business intelligence analyst, you need to understand business a little bit. Okay, so I highly recommend you take courses in that or pursue another degree in it. Okay, enough preaching, right? So, how do we do all this? What's some of the techniques it's done? A lot of research on my part to sit back and try to explain this a little bit, again, at a high level. It really kind of comes down to really kind of five steps approach. Yes, it could be varied based upon who you talk to and what course you take and so on, but it's pretty simple. I like these simple little steps here. Now, let me see if I can do them justice into describing them. Basically, there's observations, how the business is doing. There's quantifications of those observations. There's measurements of those quantifications. There's metrics that come out of the measurements. And then finally, there's the key performance indicators. Basically, these are metrics also, but the ones that we really want to focus on based upon what's really important to our business. These are the five steps I'm really trying to get where we need to do. So the business analyst, the business intelligence analyst, I should say, needs to be able to perform these and understand how to get to the data, get to the root of the data that's really important to their business. And then be able to present those in a fashion that makes sense to management in a quick and easy format. Quick and easy sometimes isn't easy. It's easy for the managers to look at it or their customers or clients, but making it easy could be quite the challenge and also quite the art of their job. Let's go into a little bit more detail on each one. Observations. For instance, we can observe all the new customers and the sales revenue. It's just that simple. And so we observe what the sales revenues is for the quarter. We observe the new customers possibly that we actually accumulated based upon that. All right, so we observe this. We get those numbers for the most part. We don't really put mathematical formulas to them yet. They're just basically observations. It could be monthly revenues, customers, new sales volume, new customers, and so on. We observe this. Okay, look at these dots, the red being the new customers, the sales volume here. It's kind of hard to look at this and say, well, why don't you quantify it? Well, it's all part of the process in a way, but basically we see what we have out there, and then we take this information, and then we do go through a quantification type process. It's a representations of observations through numbers. Then we finally start putting some numbers to them. In this case, we have monthly revenue and customers. We start adding numbers to it. Well, we got 10 customers here, 15 customers here, 25. And so the process of representing observations as numbers is called quantifications. Can you do both of those at the same time? Possibly you can, but it really is a two-step type process if you kind of think about it. Okay, we get the information, then we go analyze the information a little bit more and quantify it on what truly is going on. All right, don't make that too hard. The next piece is we have all these numbers, but what do they mean? Okay, and that's where measurements comes in. So accumulation of the observations to show some type of information. So if we take our slide I have here and then continue on, if we added all this up, accumulated, if you will, our first quarter revenue was $350 and we got 50 new customers. That's a measurement. Okay, now we have something. We have a measurement. This is what we got. And we can use this measurement to look at things from previous time and so on. Does that make sense? And compare in those types of pieces. A metric, though, refers to the value that's derived from the measures we obtain and aims at gauging business performance or progress. So we have this measurement, go back to here, okay? But what's that really mean to the business? And so in this case here, what a metric does, it takes it one step further, okay? It takes if a measure is a simple descriptive statistic of past performance, $350, 50 new customers, a metric would be a measure with a business meaning attached. In this case here, we can sit back and say a metric for this is that the average quarterly revenue, okay, divided by the customer, then we're basically saying we have generated $7 per customer. That's a metric now. That actually means a lot more. We can really get down to the nitty gritty of this. And that's where metrics kind of come into play. So we observe, we quantify, we create these measures, and then we kind of put the metric kind of puts um, the meaning behind the measurements, okay, in that regard. Well, in real business where observations are significantly larger, you can derive thousands of metrics, thousands of them. Excuse me. Can we keep track of all of these? I guess we could. There's nothing stopping us from keeping track of all of them, but thousands of them, why? Does it make sense to do so? Probably not, Oops, sorry. Why? It's too much analysis. There's this term out there called paralysis by analysis, that we overanalyze everything. And we don't want to do that. We want to get to the metrics that actually is key to what we're trying to do. We want to find that are tightly aligned to our business objectives. A business should not have an open-ended objective. They should have a very focused objective on what they're trying to accomplish. The objectives can change year to year, heck, month to month if they want to, but a truly good business and a truly good analyst will focus on what's important now, and that would be the business objectives. These objectives basically are called key performance indicators. The acronym for that is KPIs. These are, so if we get into the definition, so key to the sense that it's related to your main business, your objectives you're dealing with. Performance talks about how successfully you have performed in a specific time frame. And the indicators, values or metrics that indicate, I should say, some importance to your business. That indicates something important to your business. I need to fix that. And so, with that said, that's what we're trying to accomplish here as key performance indicators, okay? What's the difference between them? I kind of have this slide here I like. So the metric would probably show the traffic of a page from your website that was visited by any type of user. A KPI, for instance, would go a little bit deeper, which is the traffic generated only from users who have clicked on the link provided in your ad campaign. Much more specific, and we can actually then really get detailed to determine our success and the performance based upon what we're looking at from our key business objective. Does that make a little bit of sense? Again, all this stuff is supposed to be high level. Kind of read through it, try to understand it, but basically what we're trying to do is drill down on our data in the most simplest form. We can have tons and tons of data. A business intelligent analyst will drill down to the data to what's truly important to the business at that time, okay, versus looking at tons and tons of it with different slides and not really understanding how to utilize this information to better the business. So I hope that makes sense what I'm trying to say. All right. These techniques are not only the sole purpose of a business intelligence analyst, okay? So they have to get all this data, but what's really important in the case is then presenting this data in a fashion that makes perfect sense. So if I give somebody a 5,500-page report with data all over the place, management's going to go, what the heck? What does this mean to me? The job of a business intelligence analyst is to present this in a sense that will make perfect sense very, very, very quickly. And they do that through reports, do that through reports and dashboards, okay? A report being something that could be on a computer. It could also be a piece of paper or, printed paper or so on. A dashboard, for the most part, is a certain type of software that has different views on one page. So a manager can just look at one page and really try to understand what's going on in their business. All right. So we have reporting and we have dashboards. So like I said, that's one of the key pieces. And again, when it comes to what the analyst actually does. However, what we normally do, and I don't know if it goes without saying, but it probably needs to be said, that these dashboards are really the KPIs, okay? We don't put dashboards out there for all those metrics. It means nothing to our current business objective. So it's usually the dashboards of the KPIs only. Does that make sense a little bit? All right. I hope it does. So it's taking this data, drilling way down into it now, analyzing it, figuring out what's important, and presenting it. That's what the business intelligence analyst does. So the tools used, these techniques are not, I'm sorry, tools used out there is kind of the same things. We kind of get into this right here. You'll kind of look at it. You'll see R, you'll see Python, SQL, and MATLAB. We already kind of talked about those. Those are the same tools we basically are using in cleaning up our data that's actually being used in the business intelligence world. A couple other new pieces of software you see out here. There's Excel still sitting there, Power BI, Power Business Intelligence, SAS, Tableau, and so on. A couple of these, if you look at SAS and Tableau, SAS is a statistical software suite developed by SAS Institute for Data Management, Advanced Analytics, Multivariate Analysis, Business Intelligence, Crime Investigation, and so on, and Predictive Analytics. So you'll see SAS also in our predictive stuff coming to here soon. And then Tableau is really a powerful, secure, and flexible and analytics platform for your data, that dashboard that we talked about. I bring these two up specifically versus maybe a couple of the other ones because you hear about these the most. And for this class, we're going to get into Tableau. We will play around with that as we do so, okay? And we actually emulate some of the things that the business analyst actually does, which pretty much brings us to our conclusion of this particular video. So many of these techniques that we have just discussed are going to be in the practical section of this course, in which you will try. So we'll have some fun with that. All right. Once we get past our understanding of all of this, we'll start diving in a little bit and dealing with the practical side of this. And again, from the business intelligence point of view, we will play with this data, drill down into this data, and actually present it through a tool like Tableau. All right. So stay tuned. Should be getting more fun as we keep moving forward.